Good evening. It is January 28th, 6 p.m. Call this meeting of the North Brookfield Board of Selectmen to order. If you'll all rise and salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We don't have any minutes tonight to approve. We'll skip right to the warrants. I'll entertain a motion to approve payroll warrant number 16 for $353,112.18. School warrant number 1058 for $252,821.71. Fire highway warrant 1059 for $456,487.89. General warrant number 1060 for $70,616.74, and the wastewater treatment plant warrant for number 1061 for $55,137.
Oh, so moved. I'm sorry.
Second.
All right, motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion?
No.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so we have a spending request from the senior center. The amount of the request is $300. It's for premium service for broadcasting call feature. The current number that they have shows up as spam, and the seniors reject the call, so they're not getting served. So this would hopefully fix that. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the $300 spending request from the senior center.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion?
Yes. Can they use our code red for broadcasting to save that money?
It goes through my senior center, so we already have, my senior center has all the seniors' information. It specifically goes just to the seniors that are listed in town, instead of trying to filter out and everybody getting a mass call about stuff that.
And we don't have a way to break that down on our, I think we do, no?
You can break it down by location, but not by age on the code red.
So, but if the location, they can't sign up for a senior, we can't break it down by.
No, you'd have to,
program.
are on a map, you have to like circle the map on where you want it to go, like where you want code red
I
calls
see
to
what you're
go
saying.
out
So
to.
we can't break it down by like Board of Health calls and school calls.
No.
Well, school has their own, but yeah, okay. All right, thank you.
Any more discussion?
No.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. So before we get into some of the more lengthy discussions, I'd like to probably take care of people who are here for a reason. Ralph Kay. Hey, Ralph.
Hi.
And you are the recommendation from the school committee to be appointed to the school committee.
That's correct.
All right. And so I guess if you want to just introduce yourself and tell us why you want to do that. And we ask everybody that. So.
Sounds good. I'm Ralph Kay. I live at 147 Ward Street with my wife. We've been residents here for around 6 years. I'm a retired teacher, and I like to give back to my town, so I want to get involved. And so I was looking on the town page for different opportunities, and then I saw this one, and I said, well, might as well try for that and see if I can bring something to the table.
Awesome.
All right. I'll entertain a motion to appoint Ralph Kay to the school committee.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you do know that's just to fill in until May, right?
I do.
All right. All right.
He has to get appointed by Tara. He has to get appointed.
Oh, yeah. You do have to go down and see the
Sworn in.
town clerk and get sworn in. and she's there tonight, right?
Yeah, she's there till
Oh,
7.
really?
Until 7, yeah.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Let's see. All right, so Ethan's not here, right?
No.
Okay, so the Board of Health was talking about combining some positions. And we have several other departments that are looking at giving raises to their employees. And these are non-union personnel. And what we're doing is I received some information from our town council with some personnel policies from other towns that we're going to look over. We just received those yesterday, so we're going to go over those, and we're going to come up with a equitable pay scale for non-union personnel based on their responsibilities, their hours, their job level, all that sort of thing. So if anybody is here for that sort of thing, that's where we're at. So we will be having a meeting within the next couple weeks with with all the managers of non-union personnel to discuss what those are going to be. So did you have anything to add to that?
No, I was also going to suggest we table those two, is it 2 items, Board of Health and Council on Aging Director?
Okay. I did speak to Ethan last night, and he said he's going to keep it where it's at for now. And then, once we all get together and make those decisions, then they'll reconfigure what they're going to do on that.
Yeah, I think that makes sense to do it all at the same time.
Mm-hmm. I don't have anything to add.
Okay. So Courtney,
Yes.
did you have anything else besides that you wanted to talk about?
Yes.
Okay.
So, with the coordinator's position, I just wanted to reduce the hours. We don't have to talk about the other stuff, but just changing that position from 18 hours to 15 hours a week.
Okay. And you feel that you can still accomplish what you need to accomplish?
Oh, yes, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Questions?
'Cause I
Only
need
that
to
I
get-
feel like it might still fall into this same thing. Is that something that you need right away, or is there a reason that it needs to be decided upon?
I'm flying solo, so the sooner we can figure out what we're gonna post it as, the better. I was hoping to at least have it posted by February, March.
Can you post it as part-time and not list the hours right away, and then, and have it say something like hours negotiable, or, not maybe not negotiable, but, hours to be determined?
I'm not sure if we would get very much interest.
Yeah, the only problem with posting something part-time in my eyes is if an applicant thinks it's going to be 25 hours or 10 hours, so a lot of people
Yeah,
looking for
but-
part-time work, that's a big difference.
But I think if you're open about it and you say, we're still trying to figure out how many hours this will be, and we should know soon, I think you can get it posted, and at least if there's any interest out there, you can have a discussion, but.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I can try that, yes, yep.
Okay. So on that same note, any superintendents that have non-union personnel will forward you the information that we got, so you can look it over and start thinking about that, so we can meet within the next couple weeks.
And then the other thing I just had was a name change.
You don't like Courtney?
So, I was just trying to find out if the name of the senior center were to change, does it have to go to a town vote?
The
That was
name
my-
of the senior center itself?
Yes. So there's been, so MCOA and the Executive Office of Elder Affairs actually just 2 weeks ago, they changed their name, so they're kind of pushing all COAs to kind of follow suit. I guess there's a stigma around the senior center, and they're trying to reach that 60+ instead of the, it seems like we're reaching like, the median age is like 75, 80 that are actually taking part in the things that are going on at the senior center.
Okay.
So that was, I was just trying to get the feel for if we did do it, if it was something that could just be done, or if it has to go to a vote for town or anything like that.
I have no idea.
I think one of the things that comes to mind is whether or not it would affect your accounting
Yeah.
and what's on your line items and in your accounts. So like when you're moving things around, I don't know if the name change is necessary or not, but
Okay,
Also signage. Cost
What's
of-
that?
Cost of changing the signs.
yeah, and then cost of changing the signs.
I think we only have like one sign.
Well, like street signs that say like point to the senior center and
Oh,
stuff.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
Is that it, Courtney?
That's it, yep.
All right. All right, sewer and water billing. Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. So the thought is that it would be easier for residents if they had water and sewer together in 4 quarterly bills.
Yes, that is the thought.
And also that having the sewer tied to the water would give you a means for collecting the sewer costs.
Yep, it does, I think that'll help enforce people having to actually pay their sewer bill. It kind of puts some repercussions in place if they don't. You know, I haven't really discussed this in depth with Jamie or his board. I think that's something that needs to be done before anything's really approved, but just kind of wanted to see what the board thought about it. I think it makes sense for many reasons. Looking around online the last week or so, there aren't many towns that still do semi-annual billing. Most of them are quarterly, or some of them even do like a monthly. You know, like I said, most importantly, it's customers undoubtedly will find it easier to pay half of what they're typically used to paying. You know, I don't think a lot of people budget 6 months out in advance. You know, it allows customers to better manage their household budget. You know, like I said, it's last billing cycle, we had about, I want to say 25% or more of our customers that just don't pay their bill. So, and if it wasn't for septic revenue, we would not have a balanced budget. Looking forward into FY '26, we're going to have to start paying back on the wastewater upgrade loan. You know, so that's going to be a new added cost to the department. I'm anticipating probably having more people not pay just from an affordability standpoint. And you just can't do that. You know, we've got to find a way to bring in the money we need to operate. So by putting it on the same bill, like I said, I think it just, people, you know, customers can't show up and say, I just want to pay my water portion, not my sewer. It's you pay it all, or you don't pay, we don't accept any of it. I understand that puts an added burden on the water department, because if, you know, now they'll have a lot more shut-offs. We have 938 customers that we bill, and I think last billing cycle there was 160 that didn't pay their bill. It's a significant amount, and it just makes it really tough to operate. And then moving forward, we could get into a whole other discussion about how septic may have to be decreased, the amount and the volume that we take, So we may not be able to bank so much on that septic receiving to balance the budget like we have in past years. So I just think it's critical that we get people to pay their sewer bill.
And I'm sure it's, if you were able to shut off sewer, it's a lot cheaper to shut off water.
Yeah, I don't even
Less
think
messy.
you can from a Board of Health,
Yeah.
from a health standpoint. I don't think you can cut
Probably not.
sewer off, no.
Jamie, thoughts?
Well, we'd definitely be willing to entertain this. I do think that our boards will have to meet together with probably a representative from the Selectmen to probably be there to help facilitate this. There's a lot of logistics involved in it. Like you said, there's a lot of extra customers that we normally would not be shutting off. Also brings up a lot of extra issues with curb stops we've never turned before. Generally, if a curb stop hasn't been turned in 60, 70 years, it's going to break. So there will be an incurred cost in broken curb stops and making those repairs. Like I said, I'm not against it, but it's definitely a conversation that needs to be had between the two boards. It's more up to them than it really is us. So,
Okay.
I like the idea, like you said, it's definitely, you guys need to get your revenue, and there's no reason these people should be not paying their bills. So, just because they know they can get away with the majority of them. They know no one can come and shut off their sewer, so that's why they do it.
Right. So can you two facilitate that meeting?
Certainly, yeah.
And then one or all of us will go to it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll put that together and reach out to you guys, reach out to Ashley with a time and a date, and
Yep.
get that set up and see what we can do.
Yep.
All right, Nathan?
No, thank you.
I just had, you said something about some towns have a monthly billing cycle as well?
Yep.
Okay, I think that's maybe something we could look at too, what maybe the average person pays and break it down in the 4 cycle versus the 12 cycle and kind of see what works from there, maybe get some public input if people are watching now, and hopefully we can hear some feedback, so that would help.
So
It might be easier, yeah.
to go to, if
For
I'm
people going
understanding you
forward.
correctly, to go to monthly billing, that, that puts it's a,
It's an
it's a
added
lot,
cost.
well, it's a lot of administrative work from the water department side
And
too.
a lot more stamps.
Yeah.
The water, the
And-
sewer, and the collector.
And the collector. The
Yeah.
collector would have to be on board with that conversation if we were gonna go monthly.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because that's gonna put a big extra payload on.
Is there
on
a
that
way to
department.
do auto pay for monthly, so they know what their monthly, instead of sending bills out every single month?
No.
I'm just wondering.
That's tough
Oh,
because
you
it
can- yeah,
fluctuates.
you can pay online, as far as I know, through that same app.
You
that
can pay
everyone else-
online, but it wouldn't be an auto pay
Yeah,
type
not-
of thing, because it would be based on usage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Unless the town
cost
probably
fluctuates
purchased
so
some
much.
massive program to pull it off.
All right. All right, so you guys are gonna take care of that?
Mhm.
Set
Yeah.
that up?
Yeah.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, sewer superintendent.
Sorry.
Yes, sir.
What type of time frame would you guys like to be looking for this?
As soon as you can.
Okay, so then we can probably set up a special meeting, and post it ahead of time, make sure it's works for our boards, like within the next week.
Yep.
If that's I'll check with my
Mhm.
board and stuff like that, but okay, no, we'll get right on it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Aaron, what do you got for me?
Well, to kind of piggyback off of our last meeting, I'm still pretty firm on the fact that we need, this town needs to have another person on staff that's licensed and has experience and credentials. Right now, I technically can't even take a day away from the plant because there's nobody on staff that's licensed to operate the plant. The DEP understands the shortage and all that, so I'm not saying I can't take a day off. I haven't. I still got 7 weeks I got to burn before July, and I just don't anticipate being able to do that. So we'll definitely have a discussion on how that's going to work out. But you just never know what's going to happen.
Right.
If I croak tonight, or someone offers me $175,000 to go run another plant, it's extremely difficult to find qualified help. This town would be in a situation that you know, I've said it before, I'm not just trying to, it's really something that needs to be taken seriously. You know, it's easy to, it's really difficult to find experienced wastewater
Right.
guys. And if something happens, you're gonna be stuck reaching out to a private company to the tune of, $150,000 for one guy by the time they pay benefits. And so my recommendation is, we tried for 10 months to hire an assistant superintendent. We put ads on all the wastewater websites that are available. We put an ad out on Indeed to the tune of $1,200. And you only get 30 days with that. Actually, I'm sorry, it was, we got 2 months with that, 60 days. And we had no interest, so as much as I think, stepping back and trying to bring somebody else in I could have a lot of regrets with that. I kind of just want to put some feelers out there and put a job out there, maybe put the salary out there. That's something we didn't do with the assistant job, and that may have stopped a lot of people from applying just because they couldn't see, I still think they should have, it just doesn't hurt to inquire, but they didn't for whatever reason. So if we put the superintendent job out there with some salaries, let's see what we get. If we get one or two, we bring them in. If myself and the board feel that, I've got more credentials or I'm a better fit for the position, then we just don't hire them. Or we maybe offer them the assistant job, but I think we've got to do something,
Did you, have you discussed this with the commissioners?
Yes.
Okay.
And they were on board. They understood,
Okay.
We budgeted for it, upcoming budget.
So what would you advertise exactly?
For a superintendent. I'm
Okay.
willing to try the assistant again and see what we get. It's $600 a month. It's just, it gets a
Yeah.
little expensive to keep it up there. We have the money, we've saved, I've pretty much been doing 2 jobs for the last 10, 11 months. So we've saved quite a bit of money. $72,000 a year is the annual salary for the assistant, so we've been able to, we haven't had to pay much of that out. So there's definitely money there, but we just got to, we've got to get somebody. This upgrades, we're going to be looking at completing this in the next 4 months. We've got a bunch of new equipment. I'd invite you guys all to come down and I truthfully mean that, to get a good feel for how technical and complex the new wastewater process is. You can't just have anybody running this.
Right.
This is even new to me. We're struggling right now. We just put it online last week, and we're having some issues, but we're confident we'll figure it out. But you really got to have somebody who knows what they're doing. And the other side of it is, people that are in this industry know the more advanced it is, the more stress it is, and you may, guys may not be so interested because of that.
Right.
But, I think, ultimately, I think we've got to get somebody else on staff that's licensed,
I'll entertain a motion to allow the sewer commissioners and superintendent to advertise for the position as they see fit.
So moved.
Second?
All right, any discussion?
No.
No.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Randy,
Yes, sir.
Chapter 90 projects, what do you got?
So we're putting together a project down part of Donovan Road, finishing off Town Farm Road,
Yep.
and part of Fulham Hill Road. We've got a few pipes to change, and we're reclaim them and repave them. And then after that, we have a lot of shoulder work to do on roads that have been paved in the past 2 or 3 years that never got done. That needs to be done
Yeah.
to save the roads. So that's what I got looking forward.
Okay. All right. Any questions?
No, this is
Questions?
So if I'm looking at this right, this is all going to be approximately 400,000, is that what that is?
Yep.
How much will that leave in Chapter 90 after that?
Okay.
7, 8, 10. Well over 500,000.
Okay, and that's not including what we're going to be getting soon, correct?
Including what we're getting soon.
Oh, it is? Well,
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot to say, I want to do Brickyard too, and that's in that price.
That's in the 400,000?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are we still of the mind that we want to do East Brookfield Road at some point, or are we going to wait and shoulder that one?
Well, I think we wait on that because they're gonna be,
Yeah, we gotta wait till they
they're
run
gonna
the
be putting
gas.
gas, they're gonna be
Yeah.
running the gas down there, so
Yeah.
we really can't do anything there until they're done that. But we're confident that 67 is gonna get paved up through the center of town and to,
Spring Street.
from Spring Street to
Tell
New-
me.
New
to
Braintree.
New Braintree Town Line.
Yeah, yeah.
So it would be nice, I think, if we could do some of the stuff that abuts 67, like maybe Central Street or parts of Grove or,
Church Street's a mess.
yeah.
Well-
That would be.
It's all done at the same time.
What we're looking at here will take us through this 2025,
Mhm.
going into 2026.
Okay?
And that is, of course, we've got, regular work and any assistance that DOT might need on 67.
Yeah, and they'll probably
So
need some.
that'll take us well into 2026, and then we can begin to continue to put our projects together, getting this out of the way.
Mhm.
The next round of municipal pavement, which it looks as though they'll offer this annually.
That's good.
So I can put in for the remainder of 67, which will take it through West Brookfield. And then we've got other matters that are relative to that.
Mhm.
The culvert on 67 is one matter that's currently being looked at
Mhm.
by DOT and us.
Okay.
So we've got quite a bit that takes us through 2026. And
Wonderful.
continue to sit on our funding.
Great.
Good. So, Jamie and Eric, what we just talked about, was there anything that will be, affect you and your departments and those things?
Well,
Any
we have
upgrades that might need to be made?
Sewer has a bunch of sewer manholes up in that area, locations. I would anticipate that this doesn't involve any digging too deep for sewer main replacements. It's probably just the surface would be my guess.
Mhm.
I know Kim has already reached out to me asking me for maps, and I do plan on getting those to her tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, we could certainly use new manhole frames and covers if it was part of the scope of the project. There hasn't been much work done on those that I'm aware of in 34 years.
Yeah.
We did get some new ones on the sidewalk over here, which was nice. Yeah,
Right.
worked out pretty good.
Yeah.
We hope to see a project scope sometime in the next, I hope as soon as within 30, 60 days, because they want to get to work. They want to begin the first phase of the upcoming pave season. They already know that it will continue into 2026 because it is a pretty big job.
Mhm.
So they anticipate not finishing it all in 1 year.
Did they happen to mention which side they're going to start with?
That is a big question. I'm wondering myself. So
Right,
I'm-
'cause
I'm
downtown
waiting
it's gonna
with bated
be
breath for them
Pretty
to
busy.
begin their design process. I spoke to the guy today, Cody, and I'm gonna get him some information from Eric. And Jamie, I just haven't run into you lately. You must be busy.
Yes.
But anyway, I meant to bug you.
I was gonna say, I haven't heard from you yet, so.
I imagine it's gonna take them some time to put their project together. And then, of course, we've got other activity going into place as well.
No.
The downtown committee has their sidewalk work ongoing, which Cody has been made aware of.
Oh, good, good.
So he knows that we've got ongoing work, and it's obvious when he came to town, he can see that we've got stuff going
Yep.
on, so I'm sure they're accustomed to seeing that kind of thing take place, so they have to take into consideration other work.
Excellent.
Now, this is for paving only, right? There's nothing
It
in this
is
grant?
paving
Right,
only
that's
so
what I
far,
thought.
the way that the grant reads. It can be found on the Mass DOT Grant Central site, a description of what they're offering us.
So anything yet? So
I did
So we'd have to
inquire.
upgrade anything ourselves?
No, I
Or-
inquired about catch basins. They do those. They do catch basins, adjustments, and reworks as necessary, so that takes that off our hands too.
That's good.
So,
When is the projected start time be? I'm sorry, I might have messed
This,
it up.
I would say May, June.
Of,
May, June,
This
yeah.
year?
This year, yeah. Yeah.
okay.
Excellent,
It's gonna be wonderful.
Yeah.
excellent. Thank you. All right. Earth removal bylaw. Come on, you want to read that?
I just have to find it.
I have it up right now. It's a proposed policy for earth removal and fill bylaw. When a change in ownership occurs regarding an active sand and gravel pit, the following requirements shall apply. 1, the owner and all tenants shall follow the excavation requirements, subsections A through G enumerated in the zoning bylaw. 2, the owner and all tenants shall follow the filling requirements, subsections A through F enumerated in the zoning bylaw. And 3, an engineer's survey showing the property perimeter boundary, the designated areas of various land uses, existing and proposed, if applicable, and topographic elevations of existing and proposed excavation and fill areas. Within 30 days of receipt of the engineer's survey, the planning board shall provide written approval or disapproval to the gravel and sand pit owner for compliance with this policy. The approval and disapproval discussion will be held at a regular planning board meeting. The following annual inspections are required to protect the health and safety of residents: groundwater, air quality, and soil, Mass DEP, Town Board of Health, Conservation Commission, and Zoning Enforcement Officer. If owner and tenants are on property for extended times, a porta pot shall be provided.
All right, thank you. All right. Bill, did you want to say anything about that?
I don't really have anything to add. It's been discussed by all 5 members of our board, and we had moved to accept it as of November 13, but then when we shared it with the zoning officer and building inspector, we thought, well, maybe we ought to get more input, and we might be overstepping our bounds a little bit in terms of policy matters, so we would send it to you, and then maybe even town council might give an opinion if you have something to add.
I mean, I really don't have anything.
I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Did you talk to the building inspector?
Yes, he thought this might be an overreach, and maybe it should be pared down.
All right, well, I'll entertain a motion to send it to town council.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion?
No.
Yep.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Kittredge Road property. You sent us that information.
Well, it was sent by the Conservation Commission.
Okay.
So, did you read the information?
No, I haven't gotten that far yet.
Okay, well,
You can explain it.
just, you have the letter there. I'll just read the letter since it's,
Okay.
I don't want to
I remember now. I'm sorry.
go past this scope of what the Conservation Commission had to say. So, said the North Brookfield Conservation Commission would like to take this opportunity to remind the board and the Highway Department that the town-owned property located at 19 Kittredge Road falls under Mass General Law, Chapter 97, With the past misuse of the property and recent changes in the law, we think it appropriate to review the history of the property and request a halt of past practices. The parcel in question was deeded to the inhabitants of North Brookfield by William F. Fulham in 1923. This was one of several parcels acquired by the town to be used as a forest resource under Acts 1913, Chapter 564. Such public domain shall be, this is quote, such public domain shall be devoted to the culture of forest trees or the preservation of the water supply. In 1962, 5 parcels, including the Kittredge Road parcel, were voted at town meeting to be officially accepted as town forests. These parcels are covered by the Acts of 1913 and Mass General Law, Chapter 97. As such, its uses don't include gravel and soil removal or any other mining activities or to be used as a dump site. In addition, in North Brookfield's open space and recreation plan, the Kittredge Road parcel is recommended that it be restored to forest. We're looking forward to working with the board and others in protecting our town's natural resources. Thank you for your attention to this matter, North Brookfield Conservation Commission, and then attached were the appropriate articles. So it's just basically, it is what it says, just bring it to your attention.
All right, well, I will, I think that for now, we'll take it under advisement. Do you have anything to add?
What's happening on the property now that is the misuse?
We've been taking gravel out of it for decades.
Oh, we have?
Yeah.
It's been an open gravel pit, a source of materials for the town departments for
Decades.
decades.
Yes, but still,
When did it ever, I mean, was something ever changed and written to allow the townspeople to, the departments?
well, I
That's something you might want, yeah.
I researched it. It was totally forested in 1971, and then by 1982, gravel was started to take out. I looked through all the town reports, and there was no anything in there, any town reports that authorized anybody to do anything other than town forest, but you do go by Chapter 97, Mass General Law. I think it's pretty clear. It's what you're allowed to do and not allowed to do. Is, I don't know if you recall, a few years back, there was a proposal to put police station on the town forest property on 67-148, and that was shot down because of Chapter 97. But, so.
Sure. All right, well, do you have anything? Or?
No, not at the moment.
All right, so we'll,
Just one other point. There was, in another town, a similar thing was done, and the town was fined by the DEP, so.
and how long were they taking the gravel out of there? What was the similar issues around it?
The similar issue was taking gravel out of a Chapter 97 property, and that was actually done by one of our former highway supers in another town that he worked at.
Okay.
So I'd rather.
All right, well, we will, like I said, we'll take it under advisement and we'll look at it again at a future selectmen's meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So the employee evaluation materials. Is anybody else here for anything else on the agenda before we get into that?
Public commentary?
Oh, that's at the end. Yeah, that's, all right. Okay, did you have a chance to review those?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, comments?
I liked it. I thought it looked good. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ron.
Oh, sure. No, I also think it looks great. It's very well organized and easy to understand. There's the point scale at the end of it, which will make sense, and we'll just have to put it into practice and figure it out before we actually give the evaluations.
Mhm. And the categories are job knowledge, quantity of work, quality of work, initiative, attitude, public relations, communications, attendance, decision-making, and there's various, there's 5 different gradings or points for each one of those. Those ratings include failure to meet expectations, needs improvement, proficient, and exceeds expectations. And we have 5 different levels on that, so. I'll entertain a motion to approve the employee evaluation guidelines as submitted.
So moved.
Second?
All right, further discussion?
No.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Do we have a schedule outlined for when this will be implemented?
Not yet,
And how often? Not yet.
not yet.
And then the other thing that I would like to suggest is that we use these same forms, but offer it to the employees as a self-evaluation form too. So you have a self-evaluation and you have
Okay.
supervisor evaluation, and you kind of see how those come together.
No, I like that. Do you want to think about a schedule for these and bring it up next time, 2 weeks?
Sure, I mean, I can say it now if you want.
Go ahead.
I feel like typically you have a 90-day probationary period, so you could do the first evaluation form at 90 days.
Mm-hmm.
Some companies also do a check-in at 6 months and do a second one at 6 months, and then beyond that, it's annual. So, so for a new employee, that would look like 90 days, 6 months, a year, and then
Right.
every year after that.
Mhm.
Okay.
I don't think that's a bad idea. That's actually probably a very good idea, especially to test out how a new supervisor or employee works
Mhm.
out.
Especially because you can't really get a great idea within 90 days. You can get a good idea, but 6 months gives you a little more
Right.
in-depth evaluation.
Yes, it does.
Yep.
What about current employees?
That would probably just be annually,
I
right?
would say annually.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then maybe we could start those in July, after we're done with the,
At next-
get
next
through
fiscal year.
the budget, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I think that makes sense.
Mhm.
All right. Excellent. All in favor?
6-1.
Aye.
Aye.
Sorry?
I'm a little over 6-1, but I don't know if you want to do one for me.
Oh, yes,
It's up to you.
okay. Sorry.
All right.
Did you say all in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
All right. All right. We have a discharge of a lien. And this is City Town of North Brookfield, party to an agreement and loan of $40,000 from the fiscal year 20 Community Assistant Program at 27 Donovan Road, and as evidenced by an assignment of proceeds recorded with the Worcester County Registry of Deeds, acknowledge satisfaction of the same. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the discharge of the lien on that real estate.
So moved.
Second?
All right, any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Okay. So now we have a CMRPC waiver request. It says, please accept this letter as the town of North Brookfield's request for waiver of the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities timely expenditure guidelines for the fiscal year 2025 CDBG application cycle. And then the letter explains why we're looking for the waiver. It says North Brookfield requests a waiver of the timely expenditure requirement because the town's 2021 CDBG grant may not reach the level of 100% expenditure in telegrants at the time of submission of the application for 2025 funds. And there's another reason. It says, are you applying actively in the 2025 CDBG round? And we intend to do that. That's explained in there. And then we have financial status explained. And we have a revised quarterly commitment that's on here as well. So I'll entertain a motion to sign and send that letter for the waiver request.
So moved.
Second.
Right. Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion?
No.
Right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Now we have a CMRPC contract extension. And that is for the performance period of fiscal year 21 CDBG to June 30th of 2025, to allow us time to finish out the closeout phase 1 of the Mount Pleasant Street project. I'll entertain a motion to approve the contract extension.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion?
No.
I just have a question. So this is, they're saying they're extending it now to April 14th? Wasn't that supposed to, we extended it recently to the end of December, isn't that right?
Yes.
And so they're still needing more time?
Yes.
Do we know how that will affect the project or the
I have a
cost?
punch list I can get to you if you want to review it.
That would be great, and any costs associated, because, I mean, last time they assured us when we extended this that there would not be any additional costs accrued for us, but I just want to make sure that still applies.
I didn't see anything regarding that on the punch list, but I can get that to you. And it's small items, plantings and such. It's lengthy, but nothing major.
Okay.
Grassy, livable, or
But I do have that available.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. All right. Did you have anything else?
Yeah, I guess I just want to bring up that today the federal government decided to put a freeze on federal loans. And while I don't think we really know how that will affect our town, there could be an effect, particularly with our sewer funding.
Yep.
And so I just want to put that out there to the town.
I've already contacted our senator and rep's office to see if they could obtain some information. I heard back from Senator Grant's office, and he's already in contact with one of the local congresswomen, and she is spearheading this.
Okay.
It has to be put on the distribution list, so any information will come to me,
Yeah.
and I will distribute that to the board afterwards.
Great.
We're mostly concerned about the grants. I believe we've already received, if I'm correct, Eric, we've received the loan funds. Now we are waiting for grant funds. I'm told by the treasurer we recently received a disbursement, which we've already got it, so it's not going to be held up for
Right.
the next ban,
Yes.
the next bond anticipation note. After that, that's what
We
we're
don't
worried
know.
about.
Right. So,
I'd have to imagine this, they're aware this impacts, millions of people. I
Well,
would
and I think
imagine
that's-
it's gonna probably move along pretty quickly and,
I think that's why
unfreeze or
the
whatever.
judge put a stay on it until Monday, so, they'll assess it and probably the impact. And while sometimes these things are temporary, sometimes they're not. And so we just have to kind of keep an eye on it and I would say to the town, we'll update you as best we know, you know, when we get information. And in the meantime, call your representatives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else?
No, I don't.
All right. Public comment period. You had your hand up first.
I'm going to defer to Ms. Farrington here, and then I'll go second.
Okay.
Hi,
Hi.
my name's Karen Farrington. I live at 70 Bates Street, North Brookfield. I'm here to clear my name. I've been a resident for almost 25 years. I've raised 6 children here, and I've always given back to my community. One of the most recent ways is becoming part of the North Brookfield Community Food Collaborative and volunteering at the Senior Center. I was asked by the director of the Senior Center to pick up vegetables from Heaven Harvest when they were unable to deliver and bring Hannaford bread distribution to the Senior Center. I became involved with the seniors at Harada State and shared my concerns with the director about the needs I was seeing. Soon after, I was told by the director that the collaborative and the Senior Center were too intertwined, so I walked away. End of story? Not quite. Seniors, as well as Hannaford Management and the Housing Authority at Harada State, said that town employees were saying I stole vegetables. Since the middle of October, the collaborative and I went up the chain of command from the Council on Aging to the Board of Selectmen and to the town administrator and asked to meet with us to resolve this, and nobody would meet with us. Instead, the town administrator chose to file a criminal complaint against me. I've been cleared of any wrongdoing by the police, only because I kept every text between the director and I, which I'm sure is something she wasn't counting on. I was going to ask the town administrator what his thought process was in filing a complaint versus meeting with a resident, but then I realized you didn't put much thought into it at all. You waste taxpayers' money and police time. I'm not sure what should happen to a town employee spreading rumors, but my attorney thinks a reasonable request would be ask for a public apology and have an apology from the director to be posted on the Senior Center Facebook page. I was put through hell for 3 months, and I bring this to your attention to clear my name and hope that this doesn't happen to anybody else. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you for bringing that to, what's that?
Can I respond to that?
Yep.
There was no charges filed, it's simply, I was advised by the donor, the farmer, that there were donations that were provided that never reached the Senior Center. I did not file charges against any individuals or ask that they be filed. I simply requested that the North Brookfield Police conduct an investigation, which they did.
And since October, we've been trying to meet with you to talk about this. Wouldn't it have been so much easier to sit down with me, have a cup of coffee, and I could have showed you everything instead of doing this to a resident?
I have not received the police report to this day.
Well, it's right here,
And
and I made a copy for
frankly,
you.
I was advised not to
You were advised not to
by
what?
the police department.
To not speak with me?
Yes.
This was being brought to the attention of the Council on Aging, the Board of Selectmen, and you, before it even went to the police. My understanding in the police report is you brought it to the police.
And I was told that I had waited too long to do that I should have done it earlier by the police.
Based on what?
So, it's based on the amount of money that, the value of what was supposedly missing.
Yeah. So,
Okay, it should have, if it's a missing or lost or whatever, it should have went right to the police and then investigated. But as far as I know, I didn't know there were any criminal charges made.
I don't believe there were. There was an
If-
investigation.
So I appreciate you bringing that in, and I'll look into it this week and I'll get back to you,
I appreciate it.
okay? And you're next.
Thank you. My name is Nancy Waldron, and my address is 19 Gilbert Street in North Brookfield. I'm a volunteer with the North Brookfield Community Food Collaborative. The North Brookfield Community Food Collaborative is an alias for the Coalition for a Healthy North Brookfield per our bylaws revised in August 2024. The coalition has been a 501c3 excuse me, since May of 2023. We work with several organizations and companies to provide food to our neighbors experiencing food insecurity. We work with the First Congregational Church, the Christ Memorial Episcopal Church, North Brookfield Schools, Hannaford's, Country Bank, C&S Grocers, Stillman Farm, Howe Farm, Market Basket, Harvey Trucking, and so many others to secure food and other non-food items to distribute to those in need in our town. We support the food pantries in our schools. We have approximately 15 volunteers in our community who help secure and distribute food to approximately 125 families weekly. None of our volunteers are paid. They freely give their time, their vehicle wear and tear, and gas to serve our community. Our clients are young families, adult working families, families where someone in the family has experienced serious medical conditions, and elders. For many of our volunteers, these neighbors have become friends. They wait for us, they smile when we're there. Some of them receiving food are also volunteers and give back as they can. We offer a helping hand, but sometimes a smile or a hug is what they were looking for in that particular day. Despite the small number of naysayers in town, and we do have some, we will continue to serve. For the volunteers, this is a calling. We'll continue to support those who need it. We will continue to model the behavior we want to see in our community. We will continue to provide North Brookfield School students with volunteer opportunities. We're here to stay. If you have questions about us, we are approachable, and we would welcome the opportunity to answer them at any time. And thank you very much for your time.
Okay. Thank you for that. Ladies, could you get copies of what you read to Ashley?
I was gonna say, I'm gonna email you tomorrow for copies of your statement, please.
We need them for the minutes
Yeah.
as an addendum.
Absolutely.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, of course. Brandon.
I would just like to say our museum has been in need of flat files for our materials for quite some time. And this past couple of weeks, I came across some, I purchased some, I got a good price on them. And then on top of that, Michelle there found a couple, and she negotiated a donation from the individual, and I just really want to thank her so much for driving all the way out to Greenfield to pick them up and bring them back to the museum for our use. And also would like to thank Hannah Longley. Will be getting a thank you note from us by the donor of the flat files that Michelle picked up. And I just really want to say I really appreciate people thinking about us when they do, and it fills a need, and we're all set on flat files for now, so appreciate it very much.
Great.
Excellent. And if you haven't been to the museum, it's a very pleasurable experience. There's some really neat stuff down there that goes way back in North Brookfield's history. And if you're lucky, Brandon will be there and the door will be open. So
Yeah, I'll just make a mention where this time of year just open by appointment because it gets cold down there, but we'll be doing regular hours starting in the spring.
Okay. And how would somebody make an appointment?
Contact me on Facebook, it's easy. We have a Facebook page, Historical Society, or
Okay.
Can ask Tara to give anybody their contact number. I just received a call from somebody who was at the library. The library gave them my contact information, so
Excellent.
Usually pretty easy to get a hold of.
All right. Thank you, Brandon. Anybody else?
Do you have something, Evan?
Yes, my name is Evan Bricky, and I talked to a member of the Finance Committee in terms of acquiring pieces of property owned by the town of North Brookfield that are landlocked. And he said that I wanted to start the process of seeing if you guys were willing to look into that. I own one piece of land. I have a map on my phone if you'd like to see it, or I could describe it to you.
You can just describe it, it's fine.
Okay, so, I own one piece, 13 acres, and then the town of North Brookfield owns another piece. I looked at my phone, it's addressed at 98 Shore Road. It's landlocked. And then we own other parcels on the other side of it. And I talked to one of, his name is Mr. LaBelzic on the finance committee, and I asked him, I said, would the town ever be interested in entertaining to sell this land? There's no public access to it. It's completely landlocked. If I had to, I'm not 100% sure. I think it, like I said, we have to do research on it, you and I, but
Yeah, well, we'd have to see how it's designated. If it's designated town forest, we probably couldn't.
If it's chapter 97.
I could address that because I know what that is.
Okay.
That is town forest, that's a chapter 97 property, which in order to take that out of chapter 97, has to go to a town meeting for a 2/3 vote.
for a vote.
Then it has to go to the state legislature for a vote. And then if it does get taken out of chapter 97, this was the law that was recently changed this past year. There has to be a replacement of equal land somewhere else in town. So it's just about nearly impossible.
Is it coming from the board, or is this coming from this gentleman on the Conservation Commission?
Well, if the land is designated
That's
in-
the law.
So it is?
Yeah.
So it's designated a forest,
Yes.
and then it, now how was it, do you know how it was given, or how the town acquired it?
I do not.
Okay.
It was voted at town meeting in 19... what was it? One of those parcels that was voted...
Because then the state owns a piece of property next to it.
Yep.
In
And then
1962, it was voted at town meeting as town forest.
As a town forest, so,
Yes.
and then even state property that's totally landlocked there, which is a whole nother entity, which I understand is, they can't even log that themselves, and I believe that state land was taken on back taxes. So, from what I understand is, like, the town would be more interested in buying pieces that are contingent or connected. So say the piece of the town forest you have on 67, that would be more beneficial if you could acquire a piece next to that down the road to expand that. So like that town forest and that state forest, how I look at it is, it's, what is it doing, I guess, is my question. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a town forest.
It's conservation land.
Yeah, when it's a town forest, it's designated town forest, chapter 97. It's conservation land, so we have to, like the law says, find an equal portion somewhere else.
To more or less like exchange for that piece or another piece.
Yes.
Okay.
So there's a lot of work involved in selling that to you.
Yep.
And I'm sure it probably wouldn't hurt us to get the money in
Yeah,
the
no,
sale,
because I just
but-
looked at it, it's like, you guys could never.
But the work to do that is just, you know, we need a town meeting vote, 2/3, then you need the legislature to vote on it, and then you need to have an equal parcel somewhere else.
A
And more or less,
donation, right?
you'd have to get enough money to get that and then go buy something of an equal
Yep.
amount of size
Yep,
to do that. Okay.
or something like that.
Is there other parcels of town that aren't designated town forest that could be?
I don't know.
To town forest without having to purchase anything extra? Because the water department's sitting on a ton of property that, as far as I know, isn't designated forest. I
Be
don't know. It's
something
just
worth
just
looking
something to look
into.
You know,
Yeah.
it's an opportunity for the town to get
Because I
a
just looked
little
at it
money
like,
for
I
a couple
imagine like
meetings.
every other town, you guys could probably use more money than you have. You know what I mean? And then just,
Okay.
I don't
and
think,
then, like, I just look at it like a forest like that, I don't see, even the state land, they can't, I even talked to the foresters who went there, if they can't do anything with it and no one can actually get to it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I could see like a park and stuff like that, but it's not
Mm-hmm.
accessible to anybody except butters. But that's kind of where it stands on my end.
Pretty much.
Okay.
So, I mean, we can make some calls and see if there's anything to do, but it's not gonna be an overnight thing, for sure.
No, so where will we go from here then, I guess, after this?
Well, we gotta have somebody look into whether or not there's other property that belongs to the town that could be switched to Chapter 97.
So that's in,
Or,
that parcel is in 97? 100%.
correct, 100%.
Okay. Okay, so you get to see what you can do with Chapter 97 land.
Unless you have property that you wanna give to us in exchange.
That's actually not, out of the realm.
Well, you think about that and we'll come back to that, because we're not gonna be, we gotta talk to
Yeah.
attorneys
I
and
understand.
all that
But so,
stuff.
but just,
And the
just,
Conservation Commission.
but just leaving at that though, you wouldn't be against doing a swap?
We'd have to look at it.
Yeah.
We have to look at it.
That now,
Yeah, we can't just say,
No, I just, but that's, so it's not like a
Well-
closed door, I guess, that's all I'm asking.
I'll leave it at, discussion never hurts.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Look, do you have anything?
nope.
Nope.
All right, we have one announcement.
Do you want to say something about this? We discussed it earlier.
I can. So, my name is Roger Brooks with the Finance Committee. I'm also on the Energy Committee in Leominster, and I work with National Grid on energy projects. And my contact there sent me a proposal that we could piggyback with Montechusett Regional Planning Commission. They get a letter from the town administrator and the superintendent of schools, and they would provide us with 3 years of energy manager assistance at no cost to the town. One of the questions that's in there that we have to be aware of is if there is a project that would be an energy efficiency project, and specifically, I was thinking somewhere along the lines of the highway fire setup, where we have the money already appropriated in bond proceeds. It has to be specific to that particular property and building to be consistent with the bond. But we might be able to piggyback some of those proceeds to match additional energy conservation measures. But that particular program also gives us 3 years to work with an energy manager through Montechusett Regional Planning. And like I said, it's no cost to the town, but there are a couple of things that they wanted signed off. I gave Mike the information earlier, so.
Have you spoken to the
Some to consider.
superintendent?
Excuse me?
Did you speak to the superintendent?
No, I have not.
Is there a deadline?
Yeah, tomorrow at 5. She
Okay,
didn't give it to me till Friday.
Is there any red tape associated with it that would tie our hands in the future to green things that are expensive? Like,
When you say with green,
well, this is a green energy thing, and a lot of times you have to maintain that, even though it's not cost effective when all that.
this isn't a green communities project.
Okay.
This is outside the scope of that. If the town was looking to do a green communities application, in the document, they would work with us to do that. That's not what this is, though.
Okay.
This is strictly, Montechusett Regional Planning would have and be contracted with an energy person to work with National Grid on incentive projects, such as streetlights. Eric and I have talked about down at the wastewater plant, doing one down there. They're already looking at that. That's a separate thing. But throughout town, if there was something that the town had specific to town-owned buildings, if you go through the town-owned buildings, how many buildings does the town have that would qualify for energy efficiency upgrades?
All right, so the only thing that the only concern I have is to make sure that we're not tied into anything that's gonna keep us paying for something in the future that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's no payment in that. I mean, Mike's got the application right there. So financially, there's nothing out of pocket for the town.
Right, so if we vote on this and we do this, and you were looking at the fire and highway project as potential, can you talk to them tomorrow, or?
Sure, I can call them. The specific to that is if they have a program or a project that requires a match. And the match is where we were looking to do the highway fire portion because it's already bonded, rather than having to take it out of any town reserves.
Right, we already spent the money, so then they'll match something.
Well,
What's their,
you may have something, I don't know, Jamie might have a better idea as to what open-ended items might qualify for a match in that project.
Okay.
Doors, windows, anything along those lines.
Yeah, at this point, I don't know, they would all be change orders, because I believe all the materials have been spec'd and done, I mean.
Yeah.
So really,
Unfortunately, yeah.
so just so I understand, basically, because in private industry, I guess what we call is like an energy audit, right? It's a what? Energy audit. So you'd come in, you look at the lighting, you look at the heat system, you look at the R value of the building,
Yeah.
and then that person would make recommendations, and then there would be some kind of incentive
National Grid.
from National Grid.
Correct.
And I guess, I'm always willing to, free money's great.
Yeah, the only thing I'm going to say is, some of these, and in the wording there, it speaks to, does the town have the ability to match, if there was a match requirement? So that's the only hook that's in there with respect to finances. And it'd be subject to agreeing to do the project. If you didn't want to do the project because you didn't have the match,
Right.
it just goes by the board.
Right, you can decline it, it doesn't hurt to apply, is what you're
Right.
saying.
Correct.
That you can- okay.
Yeah.
all right, so I'll entertain a motion to pursue that.
So moved.
Second.
All right, any discussion?
No, I think it doesn't hurt to apply.
So it's basically just having somebody on as a consultant for free, and we're not obligated to go through with any of their recommendations.
Correct.
That's fine by me.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. And then
That was a nice collab right there.
you could probably look at it too. You're already looking at it, right?
Yeah, we've already got something in the works.
Yeah, we just did a giant lighting upgrade already through NES, the same company that sold the lighting system to the highway barn project,
Well, if there's anything
which
else.
through
you
them
can do.
caused a change order because the lighting changed.
All right.
So at least I didn't have to do anything.
All right, we have one announcement. That's from the town clerk. Vaughn, could you read that?
Oh, jeez. All right. We have it here. Perfect. The town clerk would like to remind everyone that nomination papers are available for the 2025 annual town election. While everyone spends so much time thinking about those who represent us in Boston and Washington, it is those that represent us at the local level who have the biggest impact on our everyday lives. The offices that will be on the ballot this year include Selectmen, Moderator, Town Clerk, School Committee, Water Commissioner, Board of Assessors, Board of Health, Cemetery Commissioner, Library Trustees, Planning Board, and Constables. As was announced previously, Jim Caldwell will not be running for Moderator. We also have John Turner on the Planning Board, who has decided not to run again. We thank them for their service. All of these offices are important to the functioning of the town. The town clerk has information on all of these seats. If you have ever thought of trying to make a difference in our town, we encourage you to explore these seats and learn what is involved.
Thank you. And then at our next on-air meeting, we will start announcing who's taking papers out and who's returning them. All right, do you have anything else?
No.
Anything else?
No.
Mike, anything else?
No.
All right. All right. I will entertain a motion to go into executive session to discuss strategy with respect to police union negotiations.
So moved.
Second,
Jason Petrowitz, yes?
Brooke Canada, yes.
Von Schlegel, yes.
And we will exit only to adjourn, and we are going to recess for about 5 minutes to let everybody clear. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.